Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a little strange. I'm going to delve into a really tin-hatty theory that borders fanfiction, but you know what? It's interesting enough to warrant a video. Actually, this entire theory started in a conversation I had on Twitter with a viewer, and was hinted at in my pre-release guide for Eldritch Moon. If you watched that video, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. It has to do with the vampire, Olivia Voldaren, and her true origins. So, as I was looking for basically the trolliest card for my Eldritch Moon pre-release video, I came across two Eldrazi crab creatures, Drownyard Behemoth and Vexing Scuttler. In an attempt to be clever, I looked for more crabs that could relate to these two obscure cards and found King Crab. This is where the theory really starts. The flavor text from King Crab reads, "I'm allergic to shellfish. Not only did it kill my entire village, it also gave me this nasty rash." You'd think this is just some comic relief text on an already ridiculous looking card, right? Well, take a look at who this quote's credited to. That's right, someone known as Olivia the Fisher. Could this Olivia be the same Olivia Voldaren we know and love on Innistrad prior to her transformation into a vampire? How can these two cards be related when they're separated by so many other sets? King Crab, with its flavor text and thus this Olivia character, originates from Urza's legacy. The Urza block played out heavily on the plane of Dominaria, a far cry away from Innistrad, and since Olivia isn't a Planeswalker, this theory's dead in the water, right? Well, not exactly, but this is where we kinda dip our feet into fanfiction territory. Urza's legacy took place in a time prior to the Mending. If you're not sure what the Mending is, go watch some of my videos on the topic. But in short, it was an event that drastically reduced the godly powers of Planeswalkers across the multiverse. So, at this point, all Planeswalkers basically have powers limited only by their training and imagination. Also occurring prior to the Urza block, Sorin Markov has already established a bloodline on Innistrad and entrapped the Eldrazi on Zendikar. He's perfected his abilities as an ancient Planeswalker of great power and has traveled to a tremendous number of planes. With someone already as old and practiced as Sorin, it's not a far stretch to think that he must have visited Dominaria at some point during his immortal life. This is where the theory suggests that Sorin first met the pre-vampiric Olivia Voldaren. Sorin Markov finds her small fishing village already turned to rubble thanks to the wrath of the King Crab. Olivia, a young girl training to be a fisher, is the sole survivor. Sorin may be an immortal vampire with godly powers, but he still has a soft spot in his heart for potential he sees in others. A potential he sees in this young girl. The same feelings that caused him to take a newly ignited Nahiri under his wings guides him to mentor Olivia as well. As he puts the girl under his protection, they leave together to Innistrad. Everyone Olivia had known died on that fateful day. Dominaria was no longer her home. Since this all occurred prior to the Mending, Planeswalkers were capable of transporting others along with them across the blind eternities. It was relatively easy for Sorin to bring this one girl with him to Innistrad. Back on his home plane, Sorin realizes that his own bloodline, the Markov vampires, are starting to die out. Ever since he was bestowed this curse from his relative, Edgar Markov, who messed with ancient demonic powers, Sorin and his new family had become despised and killed off by humans who became their food source. Of course, the humans had the right to defend themselves, but this newly formed vampiric race had the right to survive as well. As he thinks of a solution to restore balance without spending years on Innistrad restoring his own bloodline himself, the young girl, Olivia, breaks out in a terrible rash. She first attributes the ailment to allergies, but Sorin watches as it spreads and only grows worse. Olivia is in fact reacting negatively to Innistrad itself, which has a relatively high concentration of black mana. To make matters worse, the demon Schellinger, the originator of vampirism on Innistrad, had taken an interest in Sorin's young prodigy. Olivia was destined to become a great vampire lord on Innistrad, one who would rule by his side for all time. It was this potential Sorin saw in her. With the demon and this deadly reaction closing in, Sorin was forced to give her this gift without her consent as he had originally planned. Using his pre-Mending Planeswalker powers, he fueled the transformation with as much mana as he possibly could. She wouldn't be another Markov vampire. No, with this much mana, Olivia could go on to start her own bloodline. She would expand the rule and territory of vampires on Innistrad and sit by Sorin's side as lords of the plane. This storybook ending never came to be, however. The transformation hit Olivia hard, as she wasn't expecting it. Instead of cherishing this gift, she grew to resent Sorin for what he had made her. Olivia's thirst drove her to create even more vampires, making a new family for herself, the Voldaren bloodline. As the years passed, the timeless Olivia began to only see herself as another monster, forgetting that she was ever human in the first place. She grew to despise humans and the angels who defended them, regarding them all as nothing more than food. She may have hated Sorin before, but now they're more like stubborn rivals. That was until Sorin betrayed all vampires on Innistrad by creating the Archangel Avacyn. Avacyn shined a light on the plane which repelled everything that cherished the night, including the Voldaren vampires. This treachery caused all vampires on Innistrad to distrust their former lord. Even Olivia managed to find new hatred for him. And from then on, we kinda learned the rest of their story from our first and second visit back to Innistrad. This theory isn't much more than just fun fanfiction, but it does give us an origins to Olivia Voldaren that has been absent thus far. Even if you don't like these kinds of theories or videos, you can respect that much of the lore in MTG has some pretty big plot holes. Fan theories like this one do the best they can to fill those holes. Plus, it's always fun to work with the relatively small amount of info given to us. That's what it's all about, really, having fun. Something I hope you had in watching this video. If you did, consider throwing it a like and sharing it with a friend. As always guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.